Hey, everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, December the 19th. This is a very important week. We're having the first day of winter in the northern latitudes, or the first day of summer south of the equator. It's called the solstice, and we're having the new moon. One thing in general is the new moon is not until Friday. And the week before, especially about 4 or 5 days before a new moon, it is when the last new moon cycle is winding down, bringing closure, wrapping up. And so it is overall, it is not a good time to be launching important new projects. It's better to be just reviewing and preparing and acting after the new moon. Now, let's start with Monday, December the 19th. The moon that sets the public tone is in Scorpio. Scorpio is always passionate, intense, but can be more introspective, more private. The moon will be in harmony with social and loving Venus. Now, this will be around 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. That could be a really wonderful time for having a holiday dinner, gathering, a little romance, good for forgiveness. On Tuesday, the moon continues in Scorpio. It's going to be feeling blocked, more restricted by around 8:30 till about 10 Pacific time. But then all is forgiven when the moon's in harmony with inspiring, empathetic Neptune, charitable Neptune, by later in the morning Pacific time. So maybe you hit a wall with somebody, and then you almost immediately, you regret it, you start forgiving. The Jupiter is moving into Aries on the 20th. And it will remain in Aries until May the 16th, 2023. Jupiter is a 12-year cycle. Jupiter brings growth, opportunity, and where Aries falls in your chart, that's where you'll be gaining the most benefits and opportunities. On Wednesday, the moon is in Sagittarius, but it's also the winter solstice or the summer solstice if you're in the south of the equator. So it's the first day of winter for the north, and it technically begins at 1:48 p.m. It is when in the north, it is the shortest daylight and the longest night. But as the sun moves into Capricorn, Capricorn is also a sign that supports more convention, tradition, hard work. But the sun on Wednesday will be triggering Jupiter. Jupiter just went into Aries. The sun is just moving into Capricorn. So they're forming this 90-degree angle. Now, Jupiter always brings a certain amount of optimism and luck. But when it's in this hard angle, we may expect too much. We may spend too much. We just overinflate. And maybe this can translate to eating too much, drinking too much, really enjoying the holidays with a smile on your face. But with the sun, Jupiter, whatever you're focused on, you could overdo it. On Thursday, as the moon continues in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is also very friendly, very sociable, and it kind of, Sagittarius is what we call the world traveler, or the eternal student or the seeker spiritually, mentally, or physically, getting on boats and ships and planes. Venus, pleasurable, harmonious, relational Venus will be in harmony with Uranus. This happens like twice a year generally. And it's really the strongest influence is up until early afternoon Pacific time. This is excellent for gathering with friends, getting involved with group activities. This is also very favorable for expressing yourself creatively in all new original ways. The moon, however, in outgoing friendly Sagittarius, will go void of course at 12:16 p.m. Pacific time until 11:50 p.m. Pacific time. As I say every week, when the moon's void of course, it's when the moon is changing signs, but it's no longer making any aspects to other planets until it goes into the next sign. And so the energy is calm and steady, but it's unproductive. There's no real stimulating energies. So it's good to stick with the routine. Do not introduce anything new. On Friday, now it's the new moon in Capricorn, which will then, where Capricorn influences your horoscope, that's where your attention and priorities will be most directed for the next 4 weeks. Capricorn in general is all that conventional, traditional, organized energies. As we go into December the 24th, Saturday the 24th, it is New Year's Eve. It is Christmas Eve. With the moon still in Capricorn. The sun is in Capricorn because the new moon only started to really set into motion the day before on the 23rd. And so with the high holidays, Capricorn supports tradition. And also on the 24th, communication Mercury, discerning Mercury, will be in harmony with Neptune. This is, Neptune is compassion, it's empathy, it's very imaginative and creative. Neptune is often associated with music. It's also associated with creative fantasy. So it's a really favorable day for any spiritual gatherings, volunteering, but music. A lot of Christians around the world will be attending church with all the Christmas music. Or if you're not into music, if you're not into Christianity, you could be into charity or going to the theater, going to the movies and being swept away by the magic of it all. And then Sunday, December the 25th, Christmas, the moon is now into Aquarius, and it will be in harmony with outgoing assertive Mars by mid-afternoon Pacific time. The moon in harmony with Mars brings a lot of activity. Great for running around, taking walks, going and visiting neighbors and families and friends. But with the moon in Aquarius, Aquarius represents friendships and group activities. So it's a wonderful day for this religious, spiritual holiday for gathering all with friends and getting involved in any type of group activity. That's all that Aquarius energy. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.